It was established 16 years ago between myself and Mark Merrill, the two co-founders, and we had a single mission, which is what we say, bring internet to the masses, right? And we would like everyone on earth to be connected to the internet. So the first product that we produced was actually an Ethernet hub, an 8-port Ethernet hub, quickly followed by a dial-up 56K router. That's how we connect people to the internet. From the very early days, we focused on what we call the SOHO market, which is defined as small office and home office. Because at that point in time, people who are willing to pay the money to connect to the internet are the SOHO people. Either they're running some business from home or they're actually running a small businesses. But as time evolves, we quickly find out, one, the 10 megabit Ethernet hub is not going to be fast enough, and the 56K dial-up is definitely not going to be fast enough. So we were the first in 1998 to bring out an ISDN router plus a 10 megabit switches. But then very quickly we realized that if we are seriously helping the masses to connect to the internet, not only we have to provide businesses, we also have to provide home users the connectivity. And for home users to have connectivity, Ethernet is just not an option, all right? Because you can't just drill holes in the house and wire those thick cables. So in 1999, we demonstrated the world's first wireless home network. So, and then once we demonstrated the wireless home networking, we also realized that ISDN is not going to be fast enough. So we immediately move on to the next technology, which is DSL. So the first product that combined all those technology was our first DSL modem router, or we call it DSL gateway, that we introduced to the market in 2001, which combined a DSL modem plus a 4-port 10100 megabit router plus Wi-Fi. At that point in time is 802.11b, and that took the market by storm. And ever since then, we never looked back. You know, we gained so much market share with that particular product, both for home users as well as for small business users, that we ride a success on that. Now, ever since then, of course, we have branched into broader and faster product portfolio. And we also realized from here on out, the bifurcation of home users and business users would have to be serious. So we split our business into two streams of products, the home products and the business products. The home products will evolve more towards higher speed, better wireless coverage, easier to use, easier user interface, and more audio video. And the business users is really geared towards even higher speed, more security, more robust scalability, and a better management. I mean, that's where we're going. So, you know, fast forward another 10 years today, for the home use networking, we are really focused into multimedia distribution inside the house. So we have internet set-top boxes that stream from the internet. We also have NAS to provide a private iCloud equivalent for the home users. We provide DLNA devices that could direct DLNA contents to various display and speakers. And of course, we have our Wi-Fi high-speed, not only DSL anymore. We also provide fiber. We also provide a DOCSIS 3.0 cable. So that's the home use space. And on the business side, we've gone already beyond gigabit, and we've gone to 10 gigabit. We've gone beyond just routers and switches. Now we have a full portfolio of Wi-Fi, campus Wi-Fi controllers, as well as security appliances and unified storage solutions. So we become end-to-end on the small business side. The scalability has significantly gone up. We used to be providing connectivity for Soho, which means probably around 25 users at the most. Today, our products of storage could support all the way up to about 250 users. Our wireless controller product could support all the way up to 500, 600 users. And our stackable layer 3 switches and 10 gig switches and chassis switch could support all the way up to 1,000 or maybe even more users. So the scalability has significantly gone up, and also we have embraced significantly the latest technology that enable our what we call mid-enterprise users to utilize the latest BYOD, mobility, cloud computing, virtualization. All that is incorporated into our small and medium enterprise solutions. So we've come a long way from a revenue standpoint. If you look at our competitors today, both in the home and as well as in the SME space, you're looking at competitors such as Cisco, HP, NetApps, EMC, or some of the Taiwanese brands such as D-Link, Sizeo. All these companies were established before us. When we started the company in 1996, all these companies were in existence for a few years, some of many, many years. But over the last 16 years, we have been able to grow ourselves into, from zero to a $1.3 billion revenue company, as a matter of fact, bigger than all of the Taiwanese brands, and actually approaching some of the Americans one. And along the way, some of the American ones like 3Com has disappeared, Cabletron has disappeared, Nortel has disappeared. A lot of them are no more in existence, but we have been continuing to grow very strong. Over the last few years, while the economy of the world has not been doing well, we continue to grow double digit. In 2010, 2011, we grew about 30% plus year over year. In the first half of this year, we grew almost like 20% under this kind of a scenario. So we're pretty happy. I haven't been here for 4.5 years. The number one thing is for me to come and familiarize myself with the latest market situation, and really give some spiritual and material support to Subo, who just joined us for 5 months. And I mean, that's the whole purpose. And because then the two of us, with now a review of the current market situation, we can map out an investment strategy for the next 18 months to develop our market opportunity. In fact, I haven't been in India for 4.5 years, so I don't really exactly know the current situation in India. The only thing we know is that mobility is important. People do not want to work at a desk and be tethered to the office. More and more in the developed world, people are given mobile devices so that they could get closer to their customers. So we see sales teams are equipped with tablets, smartphones, so that they were able to go out and work with the customers. And most of the sales people in the US and in Europe work from home. They don't really come into the office. So when they are at home, of course, they're working with their laptops and tablets. So mobility access is important. And then if you look at some of them, traditionally the corporations, it doesn't matter whether small or big ones, they basically restrict, all right, the choice of those mobile devices so that they would be easier to support and manage. For example, like NETGEAR itself, 3 years ago, all right, we would not allow anybody to go beyond an Lenovo laptop, a BlackBerry smartphone. That's it. I mean, that's what it was. So, but over the last 2 years, we've changed. I mean, because all the technology changes, we allowed our employees to bring their preferred smartphones such as iPhone or Samsung or BlackBerry. From a laptop perspective, we're seeing more and more people bring in Macintosh and MacBook and all that. So that's part of the BYOD movement. The important thing is that all these are mobile devices. All right. So even though that outside the office, they will be connected to Wi-Fi networks, public Wi-Fi networks, or the 3G, 4G network. When they come into the office, they don't want to be tethered with the Ethernet cable. So within the campus, we have to provide very secured, good campus-wide Wi-Fi coverage. So that's why we're seeing a lot more sales in those areas, and we're committed to do that. Another area is because now they use the same mobile devices outside of the office or inside the office, but they want to be able to access the same set of data as well as to share the same set of data in a very secured environment. So everybody knows about iCloud, right? But in the corporate world, you don't want to put your information in the public cloud. So the implementation of private cloud is very important. So that's why we provide all these functionality for our small, medium enterprises to implement a private cloud so that their workforce will be able to access their own private iCloud. It doesn't matter whether they're using a Galaxy phone from Samsung, or they're using an iPhone, or using a tablet from Samsung or Apple, or MacBook or laptop. They will still be able to access the same set of data as if they are local. So those are the technology trends that is evolving, and we're staying at the forefront of that with our comprehensive solutions of campus-wide wireless LAN coverage, our unified storage that provides these cloud, hybrid cloud and private cloud service. And we see that we are in a very unique position compared to all our competitors, that we have a broad portfolio of products to offer to our SMEs. That's the internet set-top box that we produce. You know, we have a belief. Actually, back in 1996, when we established NETGEAR, we believe that everything is going to be replaced by IP. All right. If you look at an office at that time or a home at that time, you have multiple lines coming in. All right. You have a voice line coming in, then you have a data line coming in, then you have a video line coming in. I mean, they're all different, and we believe that eventually all of them is going to collapse into IP. So home is the same thing. You have a video line coming in to watch TV. You have a voice line coming in to make the telephone calls. Then you have a data line coming in like DSL or ISDN to do the internet serving. Now our belief is eventually all that is going to become IP. All right. So we're starting to see that in the U.S. I mean, a lot of TV programs today are in IP form that you can actually watch on a tablet or on a smartphone. As a matter of fact, for this past Olympic, you know, they're all streamed live on the internet. You can't even watch it on TV. If you want to watch it on TV, you can watch it on a delayed mode and only for selected events. So if you want to watch live in US for all events, you have to go on the internet and it's streamed live to the tablet. So the set-top box is basically tapped that internet content into your TVs. Now, a lot of the newer TVs called smart TV has absorbed, you know, those functionalities into the TV. The only problem is that, as we all know, a smartphone or a laptop or a tablet usually have a lifetime of 3 years. So after 3 years to get a new one, the new one carries new firmware, new software, new capabilities. But TVs never die. TV lasts for 10, 15, 20 years, but after 3 years, that smart TV firmware is already obsoleted. And nobody wants to upgrade the firmware of a TV, right? So that's why, you know, we produce these internet set-top box, which is cheap, easy to use, and tap into the TV that you could, you know, replace it every 2-3 years to keep your TV up to date. And that's the product we talk about. And particularly this line of product, we call it Neo TV. We believe that we will introduce this line of product into India. Now, so because even though the technology has progressed significantly, the content, the legal world has not caught up, all right? So a lot of the content is still restricted by law to certain specific geography. So while this line of products have already built a pretty strong content in North America, we do not have the right to those content in any other geographies. So that's why it has to gradually come in to make sure content is available for this set of set-top box before we can introduce it to the geography. So today we have products such as push to TV that would utilize your laptop, all right, to really push the content onto the TV. However, as more and more content is legally allowed to come into the Indian subcontinent, that particular set of device will be even more useful. Just like any other emerging market, there are a few verticals that are very useful for us. One, first and foremost, is education. All right, education is is very well developed in India. As a matter of fact, the significant growth of GDP over the last 10 years is a direct result of the fantastic education system that India has put together, especially the university education system. So we believe that the education market is really good for us for campus-wide Wi-Fi coverage, for 10 gigabit switching, for unified storage, for student information and research information. So those are really good vertical. That's the first one. The second good vertical is state and local government. All right, there is a tremendous infrastructure build happening in all emerging markets, and India is no exception. Clearly, there is a lot of funding at the state and local government level for all these infrastructure bill. So that again, they will require a lot of the solutions of switching, Wi-Fi, and unified storage, and security appliances. So we believe there is tremendous opportunity over there. Then the third vertical we believe that will also be significant is hospitality. All right, hospitality as the economy, as the people become more affluent, then they travel more. Then they go take tours, and that would spawn the hotel industry. And we all know our hotels these days gotta provide internet connectivity. So that's why our switches, our Wi-Fi, they will be all useful. And also, when people getting more affluent, they would pay more to get healthy. So the hospitals also will be well developed, and hospitals also use Wi-Fi to provide internet coverage for their patients, because if you're stuck in the hospital bed for 3 days, you want to be able to access the internet, right? So the hospitality is another vertical that we believe that will be very good for us. So those three are particularly of interest to us. And there is a fourth one I don't know. We have been doing very well outside of India is manufacturing. All right, so manufacturing hasn't come to India as yet, especially mid-sized manufacturing. So that one I don't know, but it's clear to the Indian government, state or central, to provide mass employment, you must nurture manufacturing. And if that happens, that will become a good vertical for us as well. We traditionally have been very strong in mid-sized manufacturing. The channel strategy is relatively similar everywhere around the world. I mean, we follow the same channel strategy. So on the home networking side, we would primarily go through the retail channel, both online and offline. And the online channel is rising very fast. So in every single country, we work very closely with the online channel. We continue to work very closely with the brick and mortar stores as well. So now clearly in India, actually in entire Asia, the retail channel, the brick and mortar stores is a little bit different from the Western world. There's a lot of little small stores in an IT district. We'll continue to do that. But we also see the rise of the multi-brand stores that we have been very strong in the developed world. And then we're definitely going into that particular channel. Now, that's the home network piece. There is a third channel on the home network piece is the service providers. All right, the internet service providers, be it the cable provider or the telco provider. In other countries, we have been entering that channel very aggressively. Eventually, we'll do that in India as well. But today, our major focus on the home networking will still be in the online as well as the multi-brand, as well as the small store channel. On the small medium enterprise, the number one channel, of course, is system integrators. So the system integrators would help us to do the implementation of the projects, as well as the build the connections to all our potential customers. So the number one thing is to recruit the system integrators. And traditionally, when we go into a new market, we will focus on the tier one cities first, and only after we're successful in the tier one cities, then we'll go into the tier two and tier three cities. And so that's the same strategy we're going to do. In India, we'll focus on recruiting system integrators for the small, medium enterprises in the tier one cities, and we have identified initially about 5 of them, and then eventually we'll spread to all 8 tier one cities.